Hello everyone, and welcome to the amazing and exciting world of Xenoblade Chronicles X, humanity's last refuge on the new and unknown Planet Mira. There are a lot of questions I want to address while I show you some of my gameplay, the good aspects as well as the problematic ones. And in particular, I will always try and focus on, is it possible to have this game ported to the current Switch or possibly to a new Nintendo console? But for now, let's enjoy the prologue, which gives you the all-important background to the situation the characters find themselves in.
July 2054 AD. The Earth was caught in a great battle between unknown alien forces. Their weapons were terrifying and powerful beyond human reckoning. Our planet was overwhelmed, its surface reduced to ash and rubble in the blink of an eye. The Coalition government knew the war was coming. In response, they prepared the Earth-Life Colonization Project, Project Exodus. Interstellar arcs were launched all across the planet, from every major city on Earth. Bravely, we leapt from our cradle, our home for the last 4.5 billion years. But most of the arcs never even made it out of the atmosphere. Only a small handful managed to escape. Among them was our ship, the White Whale. After leaving Earth behind, we spent 2 years wandering in space, searching. We thought of ourselves as the lucky ones, the pioneers who would settle a new world. But our past caught up with us. Literally. The alien blitz was unrelenting. If not for the efforts of a lone hero, we would never have survived. Our ship took heavy damage. We lost control. With our flight systems down, the White Whale was pulled into the gravitational field of a nearby planet, its hull shattering and breaking to pieces as we plummeted toward the surface. Since then, 2 months have passed.
And now we need to create our avatar for our player character. It's a bit similar to an MMO in that respect. I'm going with a female, and considering how old the game is by now, the character creation options are fairly decent, probably limited by today's standards, but I was perfectly happy with them. This is a crucial difference of this Xenoblade game compared with all the others. The fact that we have a customizable character who we will be playing as, and not a predetermined character who therefore would be able to carry a stronger narrative. It should be obvious that with an MMO-style character creation, you have a much more open gameplay, but pursuing a narrative-tight structure becomes much more difficult. And that is, of course, the reason why Takahashi and his team decided to change the narrative focus a lot when halfway through development they pulled the plug and went with the online multiplayer-focused option. Can you now, almost 7.5 years later, still play Xenoblade X online? Yes, you can. There are a few limitations by now, but the main part of the online is still functional. So I finally have my character ready, and I think it's time we dive into the great adventure that is Xenoblade Chronicles X. So someone called Elma is logged in, and there's a stasis unit, so we assume someone inside is in stasis. There's a countdown, and it's in real time, and this is really important because you are living this is your experience.
Releasing hatch. Please stand clear.
I'm blinded by the light.
Hey there. Looks like you're all in one piece.
Nothing is rushed. This is my experience, your experience. You're coming out of stasis. It's not easy.
Careful. Just take it nice and slow, okay? Your senses will need time to reactivate.
If you're wondering about the character models, I'll talk about that at a later date. I'm still feeling woozy, just trying to take it all in.
Your pod is the only one around that landed intact. Good thing I found you. My name's Elma. You want to tell me yours? You don't even remember your own name? It must be the stasis hangover. That's not good. Just try and focus, all right?
And it's only now when we need to remember that we actually create our name.
Good, there we go. What else you remember? It'll come. In the meantime, I'll get you up to speed here as best I can. How are your limbs? Can you move? We'll take it easy while you shake the stasis out of your system. One step at a time, all right? First things first, you'll be needing a weapon. There you go. All right, let's get going.
Okay, all hunky-dory. I'm in the middle of nowhere with a woman I don't know who's just given me a weapon, and it's raining cats and dogs. Things are looking up. We definitely need an arrow. And this is the very first time you have a region discovered, which is always exciting, and there will be heaps more. This is a huge part of the game, discovering regions, exploring them. And if you get a landmark, that is particularly important. It's like a checkpoint on your map you can always return to.
Most of the white whale's life pods didn't survive the crash, like this one. You're one of the lucky few. Right. You don't even remember the white whale, do you? You know, the L002? The ship we escaped Earth on? You remember Earth, right? Planet Earth. Your homeworld. Or rather, it used to be anyway. Unfortunately, it was caught in a battle between two alien forces. And destroyed. Ring any bells?
So it looks like I'm dealing with post-traumatic trauma and amnesia.
It's one memory I'd like to forget. I know. It's been following me for a while now. I didn't want to alarm you, but we're going to need to defend ourselves. You up to the task?
Yes, Elma. And this is now your introduction to the typical Xenoblade combat, starting out with targeting and drawing your weapon, and then you will automatically do basic attacks. I have always loved the simplicity of this. So this is your basic insect, the blatter, on Planet Mira. You need to press that B button very quickly for enhanced attack. As you see, I failed there, wasn't quick enough, and you'll be practicing that obviously thousands of times probably during the gameplay. And once you've mastered the timing, you will appreciate the extra buff it gives you. It's a standard feature in all Xenoblade games, of course. I'm letting the loading and most scenes run as they are because I want to give you a real feel for what it's like being in that world.
There's plenty of work back in the city for someone who knows how to handle a weapon, you know. Then you're interested. In that case, I might have just the job for you. But anyway, we can talk more details later. For now, let's keep moving.
So here's our drop from the enemy, our treasure. And here's the great thing. They often drop really fantastic equipment and weapons like this advanced storm assault rifle. Something I wouldn't be able to afford in the shops at this stage, so you want to check it out and equip it straight away. You can save practically anywhere, so please do take advantage of that. This is the first time I have access to the menu, and you can see I'm trying to figure out where the gear might be. I thought maybe in the inventory. Yes, it is listed there, my new rifle, but I can't equip anything from here. Finally, I work out that I can access it via the party menu and what's called ground gear. And here you can deal with all your equipment. And looking at the rifle, there is my shiny new advanced rifle. And you can see it's stronger and better than my existing one, but it requires level 3. And I'm not yet level 3, so I have to stick with my basic equipment. Alma, of course, being level 3, has slightly better equipment than me, but not too fancy yet either. We'll be looking in much greater detail at weapons and armour in an upcoming episode, a bit down the track, so this was just a very quick first look. And let's also have a very quick look at the arts, and that's your skills. As you can see, I've got 2 at the moment at level 1, Assault Hammer and Flame Grenade. You may already have noticed them on the combat bar. Now, Alma obviously has a few more special skills already, but all still at level 1, and arts can be leveled up. The same applies to skills, except I haven't got any yet. And Alma has skills unlocked in the list, but they can't be activated as yet. And finally, my class is Drifter, rank 1. The class you start out with. It offers a balanced variety of arts, but provides no stat bonuses. So clearly you want to get off that rank as fast as possible. So I'm just inspecting my shoes. It is rather muddy after all, having a look around. And if you look ahead, you see in the distance this yellow marker. And those are, as you would expect, really important. They indicate some type of treasure. Important stuff that we on Mira need to recover. It is dark, obviously night time, so I am approaching with caution. And it's a life pod, mechanic level 1 required. Fortunately, we have that. And we get some experience and credits, and also an item, prototype bodywear. Now, this little diamond you see sitting there up on the escarpment, that is a gathering object. They can be anything, but they are always useful, and you want to grab them if you're near them. Okay, it's a straw Lenny, but I've got an achievement unlocked, and in this game, everything counts. Achievements, whatever, it all contributes toward your rewards. Leave no diamond unturned. Traversing this terrain in the dark is a bit of a challenge, and as you can see, there are plenty of enemies around, indicated with their level. You can see my combat bar here with its 2 paltry skills either side of the main attack button, and their green charging ring isn't full up yet, which is not ideal. I like to wait if I can. The notice tells us that we have leveled up, acquired a new class rank, and a new art. You may be wondering why I'm hesitant at this stage to approach higher level enemies, because that would grant me a quicker leveling up. Well, it's basically experience from playing the game previously that in Xenoblade X, caution is the better part of valor. Here we have defeated a pebble blatter, and One of the drops is an advanced iron spear too, which I still have in my inventory and can't use because I haven't got anybody yet with the spear weapon ability, but I know it will come in handy one day. After defeating several more pebble blatters, I come across another treasure. So what I'm doing at this stage is trying to find as much stuff as possible and also levelling up gently, because I know later on there's a situation where I will need it. So here's finally a level 2 enemy who has targeted us, an airborne enemy, and fortunately, because we've done a bit of levelling up, this one proves no great trouble. And we get a nice drop of items. And I want to just check my current status. What is that? Personal greeting. Whence comest thou? Oh dear, I think I will need to change that. By the way, the weather also influences your combat conditions. You really want to study those details in a printed or online guide, and I will show you in another episode what resources I use. And I found another treasure. The importance of the mechanical skill level cannot be overstated enough, and you want to upgrade that at the earliest opportunity once you reach the only city on the planet. And here we have a stone potamus, a new enemy or indigen, which are the indigenous creatures. Now, you will have noticed that, I finally got the B button aim right, that this creature did not actually attack us. We initiated the combat. This is one of the themes that gives Xenoblade X greater depth. The question, how far can we coexist with the creatures on this planet? When do we actually attack and try to kill them? It's a very difficult balance to achieve when you're trying to settle on a new planet and are forced to take some of the resources for yourself so you can survive and hopefully prosper. And looky here, finally the moment when I can upgrade to that advanced storm assault rifle. I can also upgrade my headgear a bit, going up to a defense 3 at level 2. And as you can see, that brings a bit of improvement without introducing any negative stats. There's something to watch out for with a lot of equipment. Now, the body wear, I can also improve significantly, and there's only a small price to pay in terms of a reduced stat for the frost-type defense. And I have no new items equipable for Elma. And here we have arrived at a river crossing. You'll find out how well you can swim, and it's not far now to go. I'm getting a bit tired of this darkness. One of the many things I love about X is that I feel I'm constantly progressing, from collecting items to levelling up my various ranks and skills. It never feels like I'm standing still. There's always something to do, something to improve, something to get, something to contribute to the greater good. We have made it. The darkness is fading. This is one of the best scenes coming up.
The rain's starting to let up, just in time for sunrise. Follow me. I promise you're gonna love this. Pretty wild, huh? They're all indigenous, as far as we can tell. We need to learn to play nice with these guys if we're going to try and coexist together. We call this planet Mira. You won't find it on any star chart. But it's our new home.
This was the moment when I knew I'd be hooked on this game.
Recognize the habitat unit? That's where we're headed. Watch yourself. That first step's a doozy. We can jump if you like. You could handle the fall. But the indigents down there are another story. Some big, some mean, all nasty. Given our options, the high road here would be the safer way to go, relatively speaking.
This is the road we need to take to get to the city.
That said, whichever way you want to go, I'll follow your lead. You decide.
Sprinting is one of my favourite things. You can traverse so much ground so quickly. It's exhilarating. I use the left stick toggle option. I find it really useful if I need to stop in a hurry. From now on, the indigents are getting tougher and we need to do a bit more levelling up along the way. In the distance, you can see some really large equipment sitting there in the landscape. This is hugely important. Whenever you see one of those, it's a landmark. These are places which are safe. There's no option to replenish HP or anything like that because you automatically regain all your HP after every fight. However, the really important facility is regulating the day and night time. As you've probably noticed, there is a day-night cycle which moves, I think, at just the right pace, not too fast, not too slow, but sometimes you do not want to be out at night because the indigents tend to be a lot more aggressive and stronger then. So conveniently we have a time management here and you can adjust which time of day or night you want it to be. Now Elma told us it was important that we reach the city during the daytime for obvious reasons, so this is a really good safe point to use while you grind a few levels, come back, adjust the time, etc. So you're ready for that final bottleneck just before the city where some mini bosses will be waiting for you. This is a very common cattle-like indigen Suid, and they are usually friendly, but they can get aggressive very quickly and should not be underestimated. Here I'm using the chrome armor skill. And here you see I've been able to target an appendage and destroy it. Appendages give better item drops, so it's a good idea to try and target those. Here I'm getting into an awkwardly narrow area with Indigents that have the red icon above their heads denoting extreme danger, they are also mostly above my level, so this might well end badly. But the great thing about this game is as long as you save regularly, you won't lose anything. You will simply respawn at an earlier checkpoint. Now here I'm being targeted by a level 1 little Suid. They're the babies. They can be very aggressive. And the problem is they will keep tracking you and keep targeting you for very long distances unless you press the B button to disengage from the fight so as not to be drained of HP. Aren't the Lepics magnificent creatures? I just love looking at all the creatures in the game. Fortunately, the Lepics are not at all aggressive. So now I have a bit of a confession to make. I can't show you the most exciting bit of this particular part of the prologue, the mini-bosses. I'm afraid I haven't got any capture for that. It seems that when things get really exciting, I'm so engrossed in the game I forget to push the record button. I'm working with older files, what I managed to rescue from an old hard drive here, and unfortunately for the first 3 chapters of the game, there will be a few omissions. I'll try and patch material in as best I can so you can obviously follow the story and the game, but as from chapter 4 onwards, things should be a lot better.
Necessarily friendly either. I've come to learn that there's a fine line between self-defense and provoking a fight. We need to walk that line. All right, let's head in. Who knows? Maybe seeing the inside will jog your memory.
So here you can see the boss I had to defeat, an elder Grex. These details are from the strategy guide. The first time I played the game, I went in underleveled and was dead within 2 seconds. The Grexes are one of the main enemy indigents, and we'll be meeting lots more of those. We've made it. We are free to approach the gates and finally enter the city of New Angeles. We will do that in the next video. I hope I've managed to convey some of the nature and feel of this fantastic game. Thank you very much for joining my journey.